Hello. This is the question of today's class, and the question is from the book Problems in General Physics by I.E. Yadav. This is the problem number 60. So, let's first read the problem. That a sphere of radius r carries a surface charge density of sigma is equal to a vector a dot a vector r, where a is a constant vector and r is the radius vector of a point of the sphere relative to its center. Find the electric field strength at the center of the sphere. So we can just first draw the diagram of the question. So let's consider this as the sphere mentioned in the question. So surface charge density is the quantity defined as charge per area, and in this particular question it is also defined as A dot r. So as we know from vector that A dot r is equal to AR cos theta, we know that the surface charge density depends on theta. Now for a spherical object, theta can vary from 0 to 2 pi, and from the concept of trigonometry we know that in a round trip from 0 to 2 pi, half of the time cos theta will be negative and half the time cos theta will be positive, because we know that cos theta is positive in first and fourth quadrant and negative in second and third quadrant. So half of the time the surface charge density of sigma will be positive and half of the time the surface charge density will be negative. So we can just show that in this diagram as this one, because sigma depends on theta and theta can be half times negative and half times positive, and half times negative. So now we are asked to find the electric field strength. So as we know that the electric field will go away from the positive charge, we know that this portion will create a field in this direction. Maybe if we just make a quadrant axis, so this will go in the negative x direction, and the negative half portion of the sphere will also create an electric field in this negative x direction. So if we name this as E1 and this E2, as the sigma was defined as AR cos theta, and cos theta is symmetrical when it is either negative or it is positive. So that means we can say that the E1 and E2 will have same value as well as the same direction, which I have showed in the diagram. So we can just say that E1 is equal to E2 vector, where E1 describes the electric field created by this portion of the sphere, and E2 describes the electric field created by this portion of the sphere. So when we are asked to find the net electric field, we can just add them up and tell that the net electric field E is equal to E1 plus E2. No vectorization is needed because both of them are in same direction. So we will just simply add them. So this becomes 2 times of E1. So now we have to find E1. So should I just erase this? Now the concept here is to find the net charge on half of the sphere. So because we know that electric field is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught times q by r square. So we have to find the net charge q on the half of the sphere. So we know that sigma is q by a. So we have to find the area to find the net charge. So we can just say that q is equal to a times sigma, and dq is equal to sigma times dA in the differential form. So we have found that dq is equal to sigma times dA, where A is area. Now let's draw the image here of half of the circle as this. This will be the center of the sphere, and suppose we have taken a circular ring from, suppose, x distance away from the center of the sphere. So this distance becomes r, which was given in the question as radius of the sphere, and this becomes r sine theta if this angle is theta, and this x becomes r cos theta. So let's just name that r sine theta is equal to capital R. So to find the area, suppose that let's enlarge this one. As the total sphere was this one, and now we are taking a very small ring along the equatorial position of the sphere, and this was the circle we have taken from the sphere, okay, at distance r from the center of the sphere. Now let's suppose that as let's name this arc as something called P. Let's name this arc as P, and that suppose that this portion creates a very small angle d theta here. Okay, so this arc creates, this intersection point creates a very small angle d theta here. So as we know that S, which is the width of this portion, which is the width of this intersection point, S is equal to r theta equation. If you differentiate both sides, we find that ds will become r times d theta. Okay, so can I just erase this one? So ds is r times d theta, and now we have to find a very small area which we get from that very thin circular portion of this semi-sphere. Okay, so let's name that very small area as dA, because the area is infinitesimally small. This must be equal to the length of that arc we have taken out from this semicircle times the width of that arc. So the length of that arc was 2 pi r, because the radius, that r sine theta was the radius, and we have called that capital R. 2 pi r was the length of that arc times ds, and r can be written as 2 pi small r sine theta times this r must be small r, this r must be smaller. This is the radius r, so we can write that as ds is equal to small r times d theta, times ds can be written as small r times d theta. So we can write that as 2 pi r square sine theta times d theta. This was the area. This is the area. So a very small charge which lies on this area must be dq, which can be written as sigma times dA, and sigma was A times r times cos theta. So A r cos theta times 2 pi r square sin theta d theta is dq, and this becomes 2 pi r cube A sin theta cos theta d theta. This is the charge dq. Okay, so let's note it down. Should I just erase this one? So let's note it down, and then I might erase the question so that I can do the sum. So I hope you have taken it down, and now I can do this. So what we have found that dq is 2 pi r cube A sin theta cos theta d theta. And now let's call it milligram. We can see that every field on in the center of the sphere must go like this one, and if this was the sphere we have taken out in the previous portion of that this question, so the diametrically opposite point of this small circle will create a field in this direction. So as both of them have the magnitude of charge be dq, so that means the field strength will be equal, and as this was the angle theta, this will also be the angle theta, and this will also be the angle theta. If we name this as A and A, if we name this as some variable called G and this H, so electric field due to G will so the magnitude of electric field due to G will be equal to the magnitude of electric field due to H. Okay, so both of their sign components will get cut down by each other, and their cos components will add up. Okay, so when we calculate the net E for any position on this semisphere, we will have another position on this hemisphere to cancel the sign component of the previous position's electric field, and the only cos components will add up. So when we calculate E, we must calculate the electric field, the cos component of the electric field. So as we know that E is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught times Q by r squared. So dE must be equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught times dQ by r squared. So dE is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught times, so we might put the value of dQ here. So dQ is 2 pi r cube A sin theta cos theta. So there is a cos theta from here and there is a cos theta from here. So we can just write it as sin theta times cos square theta d theta. Okay. By r squared. And pi cancel out this r. So this is E r by 2 epsilon naught integral sin theta cos square theta d theta. Let me just check it out. because a was given as constant, so a can be taken out from the integration, and now the limits of the integration. So we can just see that this is the final point of theta, where theta is equal to 90 degree. This takes this sphere, the equatorial sphere, the equatorial circle we can cut out from that sphere, and when theta is equal to 0 degree, this point also gets included. So we can just vary theta from 0 to pi by 2 to get our final answer. So this be AR by 2 epsilon naught times, so just plug it, cos theta is equal to Z, to cos theta is equal to Z, so minus sin theta d theta will be dz, and so minus will get out and it becomes z squared times dz, and let's put the box function here. So x varies from theta to pi by 2. So cos theta and x level theta will be 1 to 0. So this becomes minus AR by 2 epsilon naught times z cube by 3, 1 to 0. Or you can just take out the minus inside the integration and make it 0 to 1. Okay, so this will be the electric field due to half sphere. So we may write this as E1. Okay, so E1 is equal to ER by 6 epsilon naught. So just here I might just this out. So the net electric field which is asked in the question is equal to 2 times of E1, which is equal to 2 times of AR by 6 epsilon naught, that is AR by 3 epsilon naught. Okay. So now this is the net electric field, and if we include the direction of the electric field, and if our coordinate axis is like this one, so we may write as E is equal to minus AR by 3 epsilon naught I cap. It is only true when the positive half of the sphere is in the right side of the sphere and negative half is in the left side of the sphere, as per we have started in the question. So this minus I cap is only true when the positive half is in the right side of the sphere, and if you take the positive half in the left side of the sphere, then the minus sign will just go away and then a plus sign will come. So this was the 16th question from the book IE Radov. I hope you guys like it. Thank you.